Figure 9.8 helps us to understand the price setting curve. For that, we will turn to the firm's decision about how many people to hire and how this depends on the amount of products it produces. So we start with the question of how much will the firm produce. This depends on how much it is able to sell. If it is able to sell, say, the quantity of 100, it will produce 100. The second question is then, how much is the firm able to sell? That will depend on the price. The higher the price, the lower the quantity the firm will be able to sell. So finally, the last question will be, what price will the firm charge? To answer these questions, let's turn to the figure. Here we assume a wage which is given. The wage has already been determined by the Human Resources Department, which considered the worker's effort. The wage is illustrated here as the yellow horizontal line. The figure also shows different isoprofit curves. Obviously, the firm would rather be on the highest possible isoprofit curve. Remember that the isoprofit curve shows all combinations of price and quantity that will deliver the firm the same level of profit, given the wage. Here we have three representative isoprofit curves. But can the firm be on the highest possible one? No, it can't, because they need to consider the economy-wide demand curve. So let's assume the firm would pick a point like C. Would that be optimal for the firm? Clearly not. At C, the firm could lower the price and thus raise the quantity sold by producing more, which would lead to a higher isoprofit curve. Similarly, a point like point A is also not optimal. Firms would then have an incentive to increase price, produce less, which would deliver more profit. So the firm's optimal price lies where the demand curve is tangent to an isoprofit curve. The firm then hires a number of employees necessary to produce the quantity of output demanded at that price. Finally, through this figure, we can also visualize the wage per unit of output and the profit per unit of output, which says how revenue is distributed between employers and employees. Remember that the firm has only one input, which is labor. So the wage is the only cost. We also assume that 1 hour of labor produces 1 unit of output. Average product of labor, lambda, is equal to 1. So the wage the firm pays is the cost of a unit of output. And the production function can be written as quantity is equal to the amount of labor. So profit can be written as price minus wages times the production function. As such, we can identify graphically wage per unit of output and profit per unit of output.